Today's at SAP Concur Customer Innovation Day, what we bring to you today is, I'll just quickly capture the agenda for the session. We have our Managing Director for India Subcontinent, Mankiran Chauhan, giving the address, and she will talk about the emerging trends and the need that we have, reporting needs that we have in the market today, and also touch upon the key aspects of consultative intelligence, which is a topic of the discussion today. And then we'll have our senior solutions expert, Aarti. She will talk about the customer intelligence capabilities and impact and the value that it brings to the organization, followed by a session by our expert in consultative intelligence, Rohit. He will give a quick demo of how it works. And then there is going to be an interesting session with our guest speaker for the day. We have one of our esteemed customers such as you talking to us about his experience. And towards the back end of the session, we'll have Q&A session where we'll take all your questions. And we have a panel of experts who will answer your questions towards the end. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Mankiran. Mankiran, it's always a pleasure to have you on the session. Good morning to you, and over to you for this.
Thank you, Mayuresh, and thank you everybody for joining us. We are grateful to have your company virtually, and I hope you find the session meaningful and insightful. If you look at this slide and this data that comes in from the IDC report, it is very clear that data and accuracy and reporting is very much on the top of the CFO's mind. It is also very important to know that if we are not measuring our digital initiatives, how will we manage to optimize them? Another way for us to look at analytics investment is to evaluate what it would be like to not have the information on your spend. Absolutely agree that we need to balance the ROI, but it's going to be less than the price you pay if you don't know how your business is performing. Consider the missed revenue opportunities, potential cost savings that we are giving up without advanced analytics. However, I also fully appreciate that owning analytics tool is just not enough. Extracting the value from our analytics investment requires sufficient staff, well-defined processes, a clear business strategy, and more importantly, the support of your leadership as well. Leaders absolutely today want the insight to run the business better, but many are overwhelmed with unlimited data, which is currently available, and I'm sure many people on the call will agree to that. And going forward, therefore, the big issue is going to be about converting the data into what business cares most, so that the business's decisions can be better, smarter, and faster, like very much well captured in the quote below. So how can technology help finance drive better decision making? Today's business decisions no longer are based solely on experience and instinct. CEOs and business unit leaders are increasingly relying on their finance chief, you yourselves, to stretch beyond your accounting roots and drive business performance, and hence the greater reliance on advanced analytics, including machine learning, natural language processing, optimizing, and predictive prescriptive analytics. And therefore, advanced analytics is really now focused on uncovering hidden patterns behind the big unstructured data, model hundreds of possible scenarios, and even help us determine what the best action plans are going to be amongst all alternatives. We increasingly are hearing about how predictive analytics and data will continue to drive business decisions with more precision and insight ever than before. And by further democratizing the data, business leaders will be able to have greater insight into real-time spending as well as better forecasting capabilities, which will both help in maximizing the return on spend. Let's talk about budgeting. Budgeting processes and technologies will also continue to evolve. As a result, finance will now need to hone its tech skills during the budgeting process. The many CFO conversations I'm having now are really focused around budgeting and zero-based budgeting, and therefore budgeting will certainly be an area that gets impacted. The focus is really shifting on building platforms that enable integration and integrity, and therefore solving the issue of too many data sources. Technology supporting the budgetary process will also therefore enable a more flexible analysis, whether it's line item details or the what if analysis, or whether it's ongoing adjustments, or even just real time or on the fly analysis. Next slide. And with the right intelligence from the data, what if we could control costs or make better decisions faster or plan ahead for future? Let me give you an example. It is helpful as a department head to know when we're about to exceed a travel or expense budget for the quarter. But it is even better if I had the data analyzed to offer solutions like what different airlines or what different class of airfare or different time slots of travel would help my team stretch the budget that we have for the current quarter. By leveraging intelligence from the spend data, our organizations can answer questions, connect dots, and proactively drive strategic decision making. Let me spend a few minutes explaining how. If you look at the first aspect of answering the questions, let's look at hotel vendor normalization as the pain area that some of you have mentioned you deal with. Every credit card data feed represents the hotel name differently. So getting a clear look at what you're spending with each supplier becomes nearly impossible. And you can now normalize that vendor information with using a unique combination of merchant attributes. So you can exactly see what you're spending with each hotel chain, negotiate the discounts you deserve, and leverage the best practice reporting strategies to then help you uncover time and tangible savings. Let's look at the second aspect of connecting the dots. We can help you solve your toughest reporting challenges by, when you call your designated SAP Concur reporting consultant, who will help you interpret the data insight and help maximize the data usage across your entire business. For example, 48% of travelers we know book directly with suppliers or other channels, even when an online booking tool exists. SAP Concur lets you see the details behind the dollars you spend by combining travel booked outside your corporate system with TMC, invoice, and credit card data. Plus, we can help you normalize, cleanse, dedupe the credit card data, matching every transaction to every relevant data source so you get a single accurate view of your spend. And if you look at finally the ability to drive strategic decision making, if you have the ability to strategize on how to reduce overspending on trips, you understand your liabilities, you're able to negotiate better vendor rates, you're able to perform internal audits or ensure how you can drive employee policy or compliance, like you mentioned, those will help you with better strategic decision making. For an example, one of our large pharma customers leveraged the Concur solutions, made the entire process digitally, and then we help them get greater visibility of spend with the reporting and analytics that we are discussing. Especially in these uncertain times where every rupee that is being spent really matters, this becomes even more crucial. In this particular example, the CFO were able to identify 3 areas where the organization's spend was 25% above the industry trend. And they were then able to update, streamline the policies immediately to curtail the spend. And that helped them bring down spends almost by nearly 2 crores. So in closing, rather than blindly following the most popular or loudest opinion, we should use data to question, inform, shape our perspective. While we don't always agree with the data, our understanding will be increased and enhanced by it. So I love this particular quote, which says, "In God we trust, for everything else we must bring data." Thank you again for joining. I hope you enjoyed the rest of our session, and we look forward to staying connected.
Thank you so much, Mankiran. So let me start from where Mankiran left off. So let me quickly talk to you about Okay, so I wanted to start off with some of these quotations, which, so a while ago what happened, SAP conducted a research about what are some of the leading or the most appealing value propositions or benefits that the customer want out of their investments in Concur, right? And if you look at some of these responses, the leading answers were the ability to see the entire data in one place, to have the ability to have an interactive dashboard or reports which are intuitive and self-explanatory, right? Now, these are some of the real customer quotes that we have received, and I'm sure some of these are very, very familiar to you and very, very relevant in our day-to-day scenarios. So you see things like real-time visibility, ability to drill down into the data, and having the access to do it anytime, anywhere, right? The ability to anticipate the issues even before they arise, right? Tracking your cash flows across your organization and without having to spend too much time actually doing it. right? Now, all of you have a lot of Concur solutions that you have already deployed, have already set up, and it is already a huge step that you're taking towards tracking what you're spending, you're simplifying cash management in your respective organizations. But what we also understand is the transactional data that Concur is generating today is sometimes too much of information can be as bad as not enough information as well, right? Now, look at, so I had put some of the business challenges in these 4 boxes. So let me look at the first one, for example. So employees today are booking travel, having business meals, buying things that they need to move the business forward, and spending company money in so many more spend categories, in so many more payment methods than ever before. How do you see all of your travel data or invoice data, your credit card data in a single place, right? How do you make it available so that you ensure that, one, your policies are being enforced and managing your business KPIs at the same time, right? Visibility not only into the transactional data, but also the unique spending patterns or even the buying behaviors of your employees to help you track that compliance, right? Then making, number 2, if you look at it intuitively, how do you make sure that all of your HODs or department heads are able to track their KPIs, right data to the right user is being provided without actually having to overwhelm your end users with a lot of unnecessary data that you're giving, right? How do you manage your spend while being in control of your budgets at all times? How are your policy controls? How are your exceptions working out for you, right? How do you manage your spend? And also, while you're doing all of this, what kind of investments are we talking about? So do you actually need to train any of your resources, or do you need to hire the right kind of resources to manage all of this within Concur? Right? So to address these, I'm sure some of you are already aware that we already have a plethora of services from a reporting and analysis perspective from a Concur range of products, right? So we will talk about analysis, we will talk about intelligence, and the focus of today is the consultative intelligence, which is the third piece. So if we were to highlight the differences, so when we talk about analysis, it is something like a base reporting platform, right? It gives you a huge report library. It gives you about 130 plus access to about 130 plus pre-built reports, which you're able to download in multiple formats like Excels or PDFs, CSVs, HTMLs, etc. Right? When we go to the next layer, which is the intelligence, right? So over and above the analysis, what it also allows you to do is sophisticated report writing capabilities, right? Multiple query authoring. Or it also gives you the ability to modify any of the pre-built reports to make it very specific or customized to yourself, and pretty much helps you to play around with your own data. Right? Now, what does CI does? Then comes in CI, right? So what does this do over and above intelligence? So if you see here very clearly in this dashboard which we have created, so over and above the intelligence or the technology expertise that we are providing with the business intelligence, what you also have the ability to tap on is also the consulting expertise of Concur, right? Which means that there is a designated reporting expert who would help you build not only your customized reports curated for you, but he or she will also be able to build a long-term reporting strategy specifically for your organization. Right? So if you see a consulting service, so this is more of a consulting service where we are going to have a relationship, build your reporting strategy, customized reports, dashboards, automation of the content, and how in a very nice way that you're able to also distribute the content and alert the people for the different KPIs or critical decisions that they need to take. Obviously, you have a designated reporting expertise consultant, and you also, along with it, get a lot of training assistance in our platform per se. Right? Now, if I were to highlight onto what exactly does a CI encompass, right? So let's talk about each of these things. Right? Now, our team, right? So we have a huge team of reporting consultant CI experts. So we are a team who knows industry best practices. We've been working on this day in and day out. We precisely know where to look for savings, even if somebody is able to overlook it, right? So we help you find answers where you've never looked maybe, and deliver them via tailored reports specifically for your organization, for your end users, right? Secondly, we are also helping you define a reporting strategy. So when I say reporting strategy, what it means, so we are talking about three different things, right? So we're talking about transparency, one, right? So to help you be prepared for any internal or external audits that you might come across, right? Secondly, we are talking about control, right? So how do you build reports that help you to negotiate the rates and to find out whether these negotiated rates are being honored and accounted for, right? And thirdly, we are looking at how do you manage the change, right? So how are your policies, which you might be using for a very long time, make sense to you year on year? Are your end users actually satisfied with the kind of policies that you're following, or do they need any kind of changes? So basically, the strategy that we'll build you in terms of reporting will talk about these three different aspects, right? And obviously, we are looking at customizing the reports, modifying it for your perspective, and also we'll be delivering to you a lot of these reports that we are generating, and we feel that industry best practice reports that we would be sharing with you for your own use as well, right? Now, what I wanted to also share with you are some of the report samples, right? So dashboards basically put a lot of data at your fingertips, and I wanted to share some of them, basically a high categorization of the reports, some samples of them, how we have created. You will hear more from our customer speaker today, how it has benefited, as well as you will also be seeing some of these reports in the demo arena. But what I wanted to also quickly talk to you about is the various view in which the intelligence would basically help you to combine the travel invoice as well as the credit card data, so to see all the information in one place, right? So when we're looking at, say, for example, the first thing is aging, right? So there's a lot of transaction workflows in play within Concur at a transaction level. So how do you make sure that this aging dashboard is coming across to you, right? So aging basically would highlight the way the system is being utilized by the organization. Policies are being followed. What are the timelines when the charges are being expensed, right? So there could be, you could bucketize these agings into different formats, and you could also compare it with what are some of the outstanding transactions or the payment types that are happening. Similarly, we work a lot on the trending in terms of comparing, say, maybe previous quarter to yearly trends on your spend. So you could see the spends by categorization, by employees, by departments, etc. And these spend trends would ideally be able to, you would be able to use to reduce the cost, you're improving the efficiency at the back end, etc. Right? And obviously to monitor the compliance as well, right? Thirdly, we are doing a lot of keyword searches, right? So a lot of, so this report basically allows you to search up till 6 keywords simultaneously throughout an expense report. So it can basically scan through the purpose or justification or comments fields, etc. Right? So these would be useful to pretty much monitor your non-business related claims, or maybe something which is being submitted for a particular event, or a simple tracking of a unique business item, right? And then obviously, as Mankiran pointed out earlier, we are also doing a lot of vendor analysis. So you want to also find out what kind of spend that you're doing as part of the different categorization, who are your highest vendors, and whether there is a possibility, in case you are able to negotiate better or club the vendors for more businesses per se, right? And obviously, it will also give you the ability to do a combined spend overview. So the more the modules from Concur that you're using, the more the data that we're able to get. Even some of the data from a partner network is we're able to pick it up from a CI perspective, and we will be able to scan it for you for better reporting as well, right? So audit reports, right? As I said earlier, these are also something that we're talking about, your satisfying your internal and external auditors, right? So this is a very audit friendly tool. So when you're looking at these reports, which is specially designed for audit purposes, it basically tracks the audit volumes or analyzes the kind of exceptions that you're getting on a day-to-day basis, what kind of the frequency of their occurrences. So you do have expenses which are coming again and again on the near receipt limit, and who are those employees who are doing it again and again, right? Couple of more reports that I wanted to highlight is we do a lot of persona-based dashboards. So this is again an example of a dashboard which is created for a department head, for example, where it is you can see that there are it is a combination of multiple smaller reports which is coming on into a single view. Which is designed for an HOD, right? It gives you visibility of spending versus budget over quarter on quarter. You're able to see the top 10, say, spending employees, the cost of the future trips that are also coming in. And it also serves as a launching platform for other relevant reports in case you might be interested to go into detail, right? So at a glance, you're able to see all of these reports that are immediately available, right? And definitely we have something for the executive overview dashboard. Now, this is something without going into too much of details. The executive leadership might want to have just get a pulse of the entire travel program or the spend program that you as an organization are putting forth. So that is something that we have designed specifically for them, right? So these were from the dashboard and reporting perspective. We also have certain other specific to what I wanted to also put forth here is some of the customer that Mankiran did talk about before. So I wanted to also highlight some of the benefits that some of our customers have achieved with CI specifically, right? Without having to name the customers, this is a large technology customer that we have, where the problems and challenges before CI came into place was more from a scheduling, periodicity perspective. Most of the time, it came as a bigger challenge, and complex reports would take a very long time, or the turnaround time to create those KPIs were very high. The team also wasn't trained on Cognos platform per se, and it was again making it difficult to slicing and dicing the ocean of data that they were getting from Concur, right? So you can clearly see that we have been able to benefit in terms of the number of days to bring it down. We've been also be able to bring down the investment in the kind of resources, the efforts that we're able to put in, and the scheduling and the periodicity of the report required much lesser manual efforts, and it would do an automated task with it per se, right? Some of the couple of more customer stories that I wanted to highlight here is, say for example, so there is a Indian food products company. Now, they were obviously facing a lot of problem in terms of visibility, which is why they had opened up Concur to a smaller set of people. But once CI came into place, the intentional or unintentional fraud, etc., which the organization was not able to tap on before, was very clear to them, which is why they were able to position it to an extended platform to all of the feet on street employees, making it extremely easy for them to use, and as well as from an administrative perspective, extremely easy for tracking the entire process per se, right? Similarly, you can see a lot of monetary savings that we've brought into a financial and retail solutions company, where they could get a lot of visibility into the personal mileage per se, ground transportation spend, right? And they were able to spend, they were able to save about 2 crores tune of rupees. And similarly, a global digital solutions and technology company, where they were able to bring a lot of efficiency in the processing of the entire process, brought about a lot of back office productivity was improved in terms of bringing the time down, and they were able to work on the challenges that they were able to point out with the specific list that came out of the CI pieces. And obviously they were also able to save a lot of money in terms of resources and investments. Right. So how does the CI actually work, right? So it's a very simple process, 3-step process, which I wanted to highlight quickly. So all of you must be already aware of how a submission of a case works. So that is how it will start off with. So you submit a case, ideally attach a report format, what are you looking for, give a brief information about, there is a request document which you will need to fill in to talk about what kind of reports are you looking at, what KPIs are you wanting to achieve, right? The next step is more of a consultative approach where we would get involved, help you to actually together brainstorm and find out what kind of report would be the best in your scenario with the data that you're trying to achieve, with the KPIs that you're trying to achieve. We will suggest you the look, feel, the formatting, the fields that you might be missing, etc. So that is the phase which might go back and forth. And then you have the actual delivery of the reports, where the development of the reports happens. The delivery will be published onto your environment and then available for you to test and use. Right? So simple process, and you could also use some of these reports to be able to distribute it better, right? So I wanted to just highlight this very interesting fact about bursting. Scheduling, all of you are aware, there is a single output of report. Everybody, you can have multiple participants. It goes through, the same report goes to everybody. In terms of bursting, what we also do is a single report is run, and then the information is basically shared across different people with highlighting only the information that they need to focus on. So for example, in this case, so I have got 3 different approvers having to follow up with their set of people, and they will only get the data that is specifically meant for them without having to go through a lot of unnecessary information. So this is where we help you to burst the data, pass the data through multiple people as well. Training is another form. I think we will talk about it in detail when Rohit comes online, but this is also something which we include as part of the CI, where our reporting experts could be in a position to train on the basic concepts of reporting, how to use them, or even how to create them. And there are a lot of these training sessions which could be on-site or virtually, which are available already on our platform. Right. So I just wanted to end with these 3 business values and outcome points. There's a huge amount of benefit that we see organizations receiving, obviously in terms of cost and time saving that we have seen accounted for in a lot of our people or a lot of our customers already, where we free up the resources for the organization to run your business, and actually you're not spending time sifting through piles of data, right? You're seeing spending more clearly, right? You're getting more control and insight, and we are encouraging you for the implementations to happen much more efficiently, and bringing up a lot of areas where you can save more costs, right? And then the powerful dashboards that we help to create from our knowledgeable team of experts. They help you to uncover further areas to save costs, while we are also understanding the unique way that your business runs in. All right, so that's all that I wanted to share. Please put in your questions on the Q&A forum. And now I would like to hand it over to Rohit.
Hello everyone, this is Rohit here. I hope I'm audible and everybody is able to see my screen. So, good morning, everyone. So in the next few minutes, I'll be taking you through a quick demo on the Concur reporting site. So on my screen, you can see this is the Concur home page. So all the users who have the access to the Concur reporting site will have a reporting tab available in the Concur homepage where you have the intelligence option. So when you click on this, you will land into the Concur reporting page. This is the Concur reporting page where we basically have 3 main folders. One is a public folder, the other one is my folder tab, and the third one is the persona dashboard. So when you click on the persona dashboard, it will take you to this persona dashboard tab where we have all the major dashboards of the Concur available. So this is the quick access menu where we just showcase what all are the major dashboards that are available to us. So you can click on each of this dashboard to get the detailed view of the data that is available in the dashboard. So in the previous slides which Arti was showing, she had already shown few of the dashboards, how the data will look like if you click on each of these dashboards. So coming back to that one. So in the other tab that we have is the public folder, where we have basically two main folders. The first one is the intelligence standard reports, where we have all the pre-built standard reports of Concur available. So if you click on this, it will take you into the there are 24 subfolders which has been organized inside the intelligence standard report folder, and each of these subfolders have the Cognos reports which you can run and take the data. So the naming is given in such a way that users can easily understand what all kinds of reports are available inside these subfolders. For example, if the user is looking for a finance report and he doesn't know where actually it is, there the folder name itself is finance, so the users can easily come and know, okay, this is the area where we have to look for a finance report. For example, administration, if the user is looking for an administrative kind of data, like what are the employee details, the employee roles, they can use the administration folder. So I'll quickly show you how to run a standard report. So I have gone into the administration folder, and one of the standard report which we have is the employee roles. So this particular employee roles report will show you what all the roles that are available in Concur and who all are having access to that particular role. Okay, so to run the report, you have to always click on this blue play button which is available here on the right side. So when you click on this play button, the first page that will appear is to select the format in which you want to run the report. For example, we have 7 formats. The users can run the report in any one of this. So you have to first select the format in which you want to run the report, and once you have selected, you can click on run. So all the reports will have prompt page. This is the prompt page. The prompt page is nothing but you can make a selection of your choice. Since this is the employee roles report, the prompt page holds. For example, if you are looking for a specific role, you want to see who are the employees who have the Concur authorized support contact access in your organization. In that case, you can select the role authorized support contact and you can hit on finish. So this report will run and it will display you the data of all those employees, the name of those employees in your company have the authorized support contact. So this is the Concur demo site. So data are just demo test values. Okay, this is not a live data of any of the organization. This is just the Concur demo site. So this report will have shown you who all have the authorized support contacts. So this is how you can run the report in the standard public folders. Then the other folder that we have in the public folders is the company folder. So all the companies will be having a folder which will be in the name of their company here under the public folders. So the main usage of this particular company folder is to save all the customized reports that you are going to create. So you can't save any of the reports in the standard reports. What all reports that you are going to customize, you can save it in your company folder. Okay, so for in this demo site, you can see we have so many you can create subfolders with respect to whatever is the data that you're looking for, and you can save the reports inside those this company folder. Okay, so so that is how the standard reports looks like, and the custom reports has been stored. So for example, if I open this particular subfolder, you can see these are the 3 reports which are custom created by us, and we have stored it in our company folder. So like this, all the users can create, customize their reports and save it in the company folder. Okay, so the other option which is available for the consultative intelligence client is the scheduling option. So scheduling and bursting of the report. So what scheduling and bursting basically does is it will allow you to automatically send the reports to your email address on a certain frequency. For example, if you want the reports to be scheduled and delivered into your email address on every month, first of every month, or every Mondays of the week, you can do this. So the main difference between both scheduling and bursting is automatically sending the report to the email address. But the main difference between scheduling and bursting is, in scheduling, the report will be constant. Like if you are scheduling the report to be delivered to 5 recipients, then all the 5 recipients will be receiving the same output. But when it comes to bursting, the bursting actually allows the user to distribute the data into specific groups. For example, if a company is having 5 managers, and if you are bursting a report, then the data that each of the manager will be receiving will be specific to those users who is reporting to that specific manager. So the managers will be getting the data of only those employees who is reporting to that particular manager, instead of the complete data. So that is the main difference between advantage of bursting over scheduling. So I'll just quickly take you on how to do a scheduling on a report. So to do a schedule, this is the calendar icon. This is actually the scheduler. So you have to click on this calendar icon. So if you click on this calendar icon, it will take you into the scheduling page. So the first option that is there in the scheduling page is frequency, where you can set the frequency. By day means every day the report will be delivered at a specific time that the user is specifying. So here you can see the time. So you can decide on what time the schedule should run. And if you are deciding like, okay, the schedule should stop at a specific day of the year, you can give the end date. If you want the report to continue delivering, then you can give no end date. So that is a time here. Then you can decide on what. By day means every day on that specific time the report will run. By week is like on what day, what week you want to have this report delivered. By month is something like on what date of a month, 1st of a month, 30th of a month, 15th of a month, what date of a month you want. And by year means on which month of the year. Maybe you want it in a quarterly once, so you can decide, see, Jan, then April, then September, like that. You can give the months of the year. So that is the frequency. Then once you have done with selecting the frequency, you have to click on the override the default values, where you can select the format in which you want the reports to be delivered into your email address. So you select the format, and to deliver the report to your email address, you have to check this box, send a link to the report by email, then click on edit this option. So if you click on edit this option, it will take you here where you can provide the email address of the users whom you want to have this report delivered. So you can provide it like this, like rohit.babu@sap.com. That is my email. So just like that, you can provide your email address. Then you have to check this box, attach the report. So if you are checking this box, attach the report, then the email that is triggered to the user will have that report attached into it. So once you are done with that, you can click on this OK button, and the scheduling is set. So that is how you can set the schedule of a report. Similarly, you can do the bursting of a report, but for bursting, in the design of the report, we have to make some changes so that the grouping will be done. Otherwise, bursting and scheduling will be the same, right? So to group that report so that each of the managers will receive the data which is confined to that particular person, we have to make some changes in the design. So it's a little bit complex procedure. So I am not taking a demo on that at the moment. So that is what scheduling and bursting is all about. Then the other feature when it comes to CI is the report training that we offer to our clients. So on the report training part, all of our clients who goes for CI will have a 1 to 2 hours of session where we will take you through on how to create the reports using the 2 tools. So basically Concur is having 2 reporting tools. One is the Query Studio and the other one is the Report Studio, with which we can create our own customized reports. So or during the report training part, we will train on how to create the reports, customize the report using these 2 tools, Query Studio, Report Studio. We will give an in-depth training on how all this can be done. Then we will give you training on how to schedule the report, how the bursting is done, then what are all the very commonly used standard reports. We will take you through the dashboards. We will show you how the look and feel of the report is, So for each of your requirements, which dashboard you can use. So we will discuss with you like what is your particular requirement when it comes to a dashboard. Then we will, we will show you that specific dashboard, and we will show you the data, how it looks like. So in the training, we covers all those parts. Okay, so that is basically an overview of the consultative intelligence part. So that's it from my side. Over to you, Mayurish.
All right, wonderful. Thanks a lot. First of all, I'd like to thank Mankiran for her address that covered the important aspects, emerging trends in the market. Also, thanks to you, Aarti and Rohit, for walking us through a detailed demo of consultative intelligence. Now we'll move into the next segment that we have planned for you. What we have heard so far is the Concur side of the story. As they say, seeing is believing. We saw how Concur consultative intelligence works. Now we thought it'd be only befitting and apt to bring your side of the story, which is the customer side of the story. And today we have a special guest joining us from one of our esteemed customers, a company called Cyient Limited. As all of you would know that it's a global leader in engineering and technology solutions. Particularly, it is well renowned for its attribution in aerospace industry. So we have Mr. Prasad Madukali with us, who is the AGM IT from Cyient Limited. And let me invite him to the forum to have a few question answers with us so that he can share insights and his story of it. Mr. Prasad, a very warm welcome to you, and thanks for joining the session with us.
Thank you, Mayur and Siddharth. Thanks for connecting me.
So I'll dive into the questions right away in the interest of time and for the benefit of audience. If you could tell us a little bit about, so just to give a background to all the audience here, that Cyient Limited has been Concur customer for last 3 years, and they've been on their journey of consultative intelligence for almost over a year now. So if you could tell us a bit about your Concur journey and Concur landscape, so to speak, so that people can have that information, please.
Sure, Mayur. So we are actually using Concur for the last 3.5 years, and we are one of the very large customers who are using most of the products of Concur. And I think as Mayur rightly mentioned, we are in the engineering services, and we have a presence across all the geos, India, APAC, India, and NAM. And coming back to the kind of modules, what we are using is we are using the travel request module, travel module, and expense module. All three modules we are using. On top of that, we are using the Concur Business Intelligence, Consultative Intelligence, BI plus CI, both we are using.
Yeah. Right. So since the topic for today is consultative intelligence, so I'll shift focus more towards that. As we're talking about that module particularly. During your journey while adopting consultative intelligence, were there any specific insights that you were able to extract, any unique data points that you came across while utilizing this particular module? If you could share that with us, please.
Sure, Mayur. Like any other customer, as a customer, generally what is important is first we should have a system to account the expenses, the T&D expenses. The second one is over a period of time, we should analyze and put proper controls. And after that, we should have a data, and we should be able to analyze the data. So data analysis is very important. Like any other customer, even for Cyient, considering not only the COVID situation, but even since we are using for the last 1 year, we want to give the maximum benefit to the organization by usage of the Concur. So that we could able to achieve with the CI, Consultative Intelligence. Particularly because, as I already mentioned, we are using the travel request and the travel module. So some of the data will not be available directly with the standard reports. So that's where actually CI could able to help us. For example, cash advance aging analysis report. This is one of the reports. Generally, the cash advances are issued from the travel request side, as well as it will also come into expense, and then we clear it. And if you want to see the aging of that one, then that is one of the report. And the second one is the comparison, like probably the RT has mentioned, comparison of the different of the major segments of the previous year versus present year, how the data has been moving, and where we are actually spending compared to the last year. That is the second type of report what we are using. The third one is particularly since we have both the modules, so hotel spend data, because top 10, if you want to find out what are the top 30 locations, and each location wise, what are the top 10 hotels where we are spending the maximum amount of spend. Why we want to do this, and also top 10, 20 countries, and in each country, top 10 cities. This data helps us, the purchase department, to go and negotiate for the better deals. Because these kind of reports generally will not be available with the standard, but we need additional tools like CA to customize that. And also, as we already told, we have a travel request and travel module. So we need to take the data with a combination of these two, which is nothing but frequent travelers and what are the top airlines, considering both kind of modules are the options we are using for the ticket booking. So, and also we are actually trying to work out on the average ticket price, because this is the customized logic we have given, and we are working out to get the average ticket price. The average ticket price will help us to calculate the standard cost for a particular journey in advance. And this alert we will be giving to the associate, to the manager, and even to the management level, to the manager who is approving, and to the COE head or whoever is. We are going to give the alerts to them, saying that how the travel spend pattern is changing from week to week. Because generally the budgets will be, since we are not using the budget module at this moment, the budget, the compensation for that, we are trying to get a workaround using this particular one. So, and also we are actually working on the customized logic to develop a potential duplicates, considering the across entire client as one client, and with the customized data points. So these are some of the important reports and dashboards we actually developing and developed.
Very interesting and quite insightful, Prasad, because I think all these years, we looked at data being exhausted, and now that we have data at our disposal, how do we kind of, get those meaningful insights that you just spoke about and implement them in our day-to-day business and get the actionable insights from them. So thanks for sharing that with us. So those are some of the top reports that you use within your organization right now, which kind of helps the visibility for your management and do the financial report planning based on that.
Yes, you are right.
Right. So during this journey, now that you are 1 year into consultative intelligence, and now you're looking to march forward in your path of, the journey of innovation, are there any other activities that you are currently planning to embark upon that's there in your current roadmap?
Mayur, actually currently we are looking more to add more controls, and we want to check the compliance part of it. Compliance is very important considering the present situation. So compliance point of view, one important module of the functionality we would like to implement is the travel elements functionality, which using a travel elements functionality for both travel request as well as for the expense, we would like to compute the per diem and accordingly trigger additional approvals. That is one of the important functionality we would like to implement. The second one is we are actually working out on the budget module, because Concur budgets we could not able to implement due to some reasons till now, but at least this is the time, because we want to give a real-time insights to the approving person, the budget approving person, that what is the budget available, how much it is going to be consumed with the travel request as a blockage, with the expense report as a complete spend, and how much is left out, and a real-time alert, and alert in advance so that they actually plan their travels, and even the report to a dashboard to the management. This is the second module. And even the Concur drive we are actually exploring, because of the COVID-19 situation. One important thing is we would like to we want to avoid the public transportation. I would like to encourage the associates to come by their own transportation. When we allow the associates to come by their own transportation, what is important is the local conveyance cost generally will increase. When it increases, we also want to ensure that it is not misused. So Concur drive is another one which we are exploring. So these are the three areas which we would like to try this year.
Absolutely. So that's basically the seamless integration of all these modules, giving you enough compliance and control on your spends, right?
Yeah.
Excellent to hear that, Prasad. Thank you very much again for joining us. So with that, I think we've come to the end of the session. I would like to thank again all of you to take the time out for this session today. I also want to take this opportunity that for your continuous support and trust in Concur offering throughout these difficult times. I hope you all and your families are doing well, whichever part of the country you are in. So thank you again for joining the session. Please do reach out to us if you have any queries and questions, and have a happy weekend, all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining.